Alright, let's get to it. Hello everybody, welcome back to my series of Ninjago episode review live streams. In today's stream we are talking about episode 72 of Ninjago entitled Pause and Effect. This is the 8th episode of season 7 Hands of Time, and we are continuing on with these Hands of Time reviews. Almost done, almost kind of creeping up towards the end there, only a couple of episodes left. Welcome everyone joining us today. In case you guys are just joining us here for the first time, let me go over how these streams work. We stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A. We will update this day by day. If there's ever a day where I can't stream, I will let you guys know via my community tab. Yeah, as I said, we're going to be continuing on with Hands of Time. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Just got here. Did I miss anything? No, we legit just started up. In case you guys are wondering what I have for a beverage, Gatorade. Yes, again. Yeah, we're doing the movie after we wrap up Hands of Time. So if all goes well, we're going to be doing episode 8 of Hands of Time today. Obviously, we've already started that. 9 tomorrow, 10 on Thursday, and then on Friday, if all goes well, we will talk about the Ninjago movie to end off the week. That is, if everything goes well. Might see a couple of slip-ups in there, hopefully not. So let's get to it. We're going to let the episode pictures run in the background as I break down the plot, the good and the bad, and then finally I will give the episode a score out of 10. Yeah, Gatorade again. I purchased several containers of Gatorade about a couple of weeks ago, and we're trying to work our way through them. So it's going to be Gatorade for a minute. In terms of where Waffle is, I have no idea. She's somewhere around here. I don't know where she is. Yeah, this episode's pretty good. I will say that as I try to adjust the wires under my desk so I don't get my legs tangled up in wires. All right. Let's get to it. So, the episode begins with the ninja all meeting back up and planning their siege. Of course, they have found Crux and Acronix's base at this point, and they decide to raid it for the Time Blades, for Wu, and pretty much anything else that they can recover / rescue. So, they're planning that. Every ninja basically has a part here in this mission, and the ninja decide to roll out from there. We then cut to Master Wu having another one of his really weird dreams, and this dream, he's kind of walking through the swamp fighting off Vermilion warriors, and he sees Misako, Garmadon, and Moro, and they all kind of talk about how he failed. He makes so many mistakes. He's such an awful sensei / master, whatever. And then the Time Twins come in and pretty much round out that dream. And then Master Wu kind of snaps out of it, but then promptly falls back asleep. So Master Wu has been having some weird dreams this season. Not really sure what that's about, but it was kind of cool in this dream, at least seeing characters like Garmadon and Moro out again. I thought that was cool. I thought that was a nice, interesting, I guess, way to toy with Master Wu's mind. But we then cut back to the prison, and he's imprisoned in the prison. The prison at the prison. He's imprisoned at the prison in the present. There you go. But yeah, he's currently jailed up, still passed out, not really doing so hot. He's of course still rapidly aging, so that's pretty much Master Wu's condition. Has a really weird dream and then can't really recover from it. All the ninja basically enter in the swamp at this point, and they all have got something to do. Like I said, Zane's job is to search for Cyrus Borg and rescue him and get him out of there. Jay and Cole are teaming up to find and rescue all of the trapped Ninjago citizens that are currently being held prisoner. Lloyd is trying to find Master Wu, and Kai and Nia are going to be, I guess, locating Acronix and Crux. I cannot talk today for some reason. They're going to be locating Acronix and Crux. Of course, Kai has other plans. We'll see that later. We then eventually cut to Jay and Cole breaking into the actual prisoners holding cell and finding all of them. And they also find a very familiar face. Some of you guys have already said so in the chat. They find Karloff, which is a really weird inclusion, but it's definitely wholesome. Karloff is being imprisoned, obviously. He is a master builder as such, so it would make sense that he would be imprisoned to work for Acronix and Crux, and he is currently tangled up with a Venge Stone brace on his leg, meaning that he cannot locate his powers, or he can't use his powers, rather. So that's kind of unfortunate, but we do see Karloff back, and he's just a big teddy bear. Without his powers, he's just there for the hugs and the reunions, and it's really cool seeing Karloff back, and he will play a major role in this episode. It's kind of cool. We got Skylar last episode and Karloff this episode. Pretty cool little cameos there for Elemental Masters. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, as all this is going down, as Zane is looking for Borg, as Lloyd is looking for Wu, and as Kai and Nia are trying to locate the blacksmith shop, the third time blade decides to drop and pause everything. Some of these events are kind of happening at the same time, so it's not the exact order that they are presented in the episode, but I decided to, I guess, present them in the way that works well for this review. So just putting that disclaimer out there right away. The third time blade drops, and Acronix and Crux decide to take Borg with them to pick up the time blade. They, of course, know where it is, and all of the ninja are basically feeling those effects of the time blade dropping. It's the pause blade, the red one. So meanwhile, Lloyd decides to battle the snakes as he comes across Master Wu, but of course he has to battle some Vermilion beforehand. So eventually the Vermilion do escape with Wu. Lloyd gives chase and kind of feels the effects of that pause blade at the same time. We then cut to Cole and Jay working on some type of ladder to try to get all of the prisoners back out of there. Karloff is, of course, helping as well. The ladder doesn't go as planned, and they, of course, are also feeling the effects of the blade. Then we cut to the actual big part of this episode, that being Kai and Nia. They are currently searching for Acronix and Crux, and like I said, some of these events are out of order, just makes it easier to review. But Kai finds the blacksmith shop on the map and decides to run to it, basically gung-ho his way in there. Kai decides to break in, and sure enough, he sees his dad, finally, after years of Kai and Nia assuming that that their parents were dead. There's his dad, plain as day, just kind of working on some blacksmithing. And Kai sees Ray, immediately draws the dragon blade, and decides to just full on attack him. Here we see a little bit of a battle between Ray and Kai. It's actually really cool, really well done. The battle goes on for quite some time. Kai is just fully out for blood and for justice at this point, trying to get revenge for the other elemental masters that were allegedly betrayed by Ray and Maya during the Serpentine War. Eventually, Ray realizes that, oh, that's my son. How about that? That's my kid. He has my firepower. And Nia shows up. Ray recognizes Nia. And then eventually Maya joins in and kind of calms everybody down. I thought that was cool. Maya is very much a buffer between Ray and Kai at this point, kind of comes in and just settles everything down. And after Kai gets calmed down, realizes what's been going on, they decide to all reunite. And it's such a good reunion. I really do like that. I really enjoy the reunion between this family. It's really nice to see them actually reunited after how many years of, just separation. And after Kai and Nia thought that they were dead for how many years. But no, they're actually all back again. So meanwhile, the third blade is, recovered by Acronix and Crux, along with Borg, and now they only need one more to go. The reversal blade is the last one, and the pause blade is in the Time Twins' possession. Meanwhile, we cut back to Ray and Maya. They basically explain everything, including their backstory and what exactly happened to them and why they had to leave. Essentially, what went on was after Wu and Garmadon sent up the Time Blades, again, Acronix was pretty much lost in time, but Crux pretty much plopped out of there immediately, took on the role of Dr. Saunders, and decided to win over the trust of Ray and Maya, only to betray them and kidnap them away, and basically put them underground for years, making them just build vehicles and armor for their, inevitable army. So that's not very cool. It was also done when Kai and Nia were still very young, so they were both probably around maybe 3 to 5, I'd say, around that age, I would imagine. But yeah, their parents were kidnapped when they were super young, and they basically just took on the blacksmith shop on their own, of course, with supervision, as we had seen from other episodes. But yeah, Ray and Maya were just presumed dead for the longest time, but it was just because they were forced to work and they were kidnapped by Crux. So I really liked that scene. I liked going back in time and seeing what that was all about. It was a nice little backstory, and it kind of explained where they've been this whole entire time. It wasn't really by choice. They weren't really making these by choice. They were just kind of forced to. Otherwise, Crux would return to Ninjago and put an end to their children. So very dark. It's a very dark origin for Ray and Maya, or a very dark backstory regarding what happened to them and where they went. But I really did enjoy that, and Kai and Nia have basically made up with their parents at this point. It's all good. They're all good now. They have fully reunited, and they are all fine. So, no, I really enjoyed that. Then the Time Twins return, of course, with the pause blade, and they decide to take Kai and Nia with them to retrieve the last blade, the reversal blade. So that's the last one that they need, and apparently Kai and Nia can lead the Time Twins to it. Of course, we know as an audience what that's going to look like, but we will find out in the next episode, and their plan will continue, and that's where the episode comes to a close. So how did Kai and Nia survive when they were little kids? They had babysitters and stuff too. Like they kind of mentioned that in previous episodes of Hands of Time specifically. So I imagine they were just going from caretaker to caretaker until they got old enough to just run the blacksmith shop on their own. So I imagine that's pretty much what went down with that. Because yeah, they were extremely young when their parents were kidnapped. So you got to imagine, like, what would that have looked like? I imagine they just went from caretaker to caretaker, as I said, until they eventually, just grew up and were able to provide for themselves. But yeah, that's basically the episode. That's basically where the episode comes to a close. Who's paying the babysitters? Who knows? Maybe they're doing it just out of their own free will. And from what it sounds like, Kai and Nia were kind of handfuls as children. So I can't imagine they were really pleased about that. But no, that area of Ninjago is kind of fuzzy, I'd say. But that's the best that I can come up with. Otherwise, they just, stayed at the blacksmith shop and two toddlers decided to run it for a couple years until they eventually grew up. But yeah, let's talk about the good and the bad. So in terms of the good, obvious out of the way, Ray and Maya return finally after being teased for several episodes this season. We finally see them in all their glory, and we immediately get treated to a battle between Kai and his father, which I actually think is one of the best battles, at least for Kai's character. Probably one of the best battles throughout all of Ninjago, easily one of my favorites, and it's probably the best battle out of this season, obviously. But yeah, with that being said, the battle itself is really fun. You could definitely see the emotion flying from Kai's side. He's just going in there with blind fury and blind rage. Of course, that's kind of Kai's weakness, being consumed by his emotions, especially the angry ones, the sad ones, and the confusing ones. And Kai basically goes all out there, using his father's own blade against him. Ray holds his own, though. I really enjoyed that. I really liked how Ray, fought back for a little bit. He's definitely not, he's still a skilled fighter. He's not just a blacksmith. So I thought that was super cool, seeing them finally battle with each other. And again, the emotion coming off of Kai was just incredible. Also, the backstory between Ray and Maya and how they were kidnapped and what they did in Ninjago's past, I thought that was very impressive. It kind of ties it all together. I think it's a good enough explanation to, I guess, showcase where they were. You know, some people kind of, disagree that this backstory is, good. I thought it was decent. I thought it actually showed where they were and it kind of explained where they were throughout the entirety of Ninjago so far. Ninjago. I can talk again. My voice is very, very weird today. I'll take a sip. Hold on. Boom. But yeah, the backstory was incredible, in my opinion. I thought it was really well done. Ray and Maya are certainly fantastic characters. We'll see more of that later on. Only a few episodes left, though, this season, and of course, we know that they don't really appear after Hands of Time, so we're going to try to get all we can out of these characters for the last couple of episodes of Hands of Time. Meanwhile, a couple of other things that I want to talk about regarding good stuff. Master Wu's dream, I thought, was good. Again, seeing Moro and Garmadon back was kind of impressive to me. It was nice seeing them back and kind of taunting Wu for his, I guess, past his past, I guess, mistakes. Master Wu makes a lot of mistakes. That's been made very, very clear, and he still makes mistakes after Hands of Time wraps up with characters such as Asphira and all that kind of jazz. So it's very clear that Master Wu makes mistakes, and he should be accepting of that. Obviously, the ninja should accept that as well. But I really did like that dream and how they kind of taunted Master Wu's feelings again, very much toying with his emotions this season, and I find that to be very, very unfortunate for Wu, but very good for his character nonetheless. Also, we get to see the third Time Blade. That's super cool, the Pause Blade. I can't really determine which Time Blade I think is the best. If I had to choose one, I'd probably pick the Reversal Blade, but the Pause Blade isn't all that bad either. I like the colors on the Time Blades, and now the Time Twins have three, and we will see the fourth one in the next episode. So introducing more Time Blades is always good. Kind of late into the season, though, so that's kind of awkward. Some people might complain that it's way too late into the season to introduce more Time Blades, but hey, we're 8 episodes in. We finally got the third one with only one more to go. So I guess that's that. Also, we need to talk about a couple of cameos, specifically Karloff. We see Karloff, and Karloff is awesome. It's fun to see him back. Some of you guys have already commented on this earlier. I really liked Karloff in this episode. I thought he was super cool. As I said, just a big teddy bear without his powers. You really can't do much of that. In terms of the bad, a couple of minor things to talk about. I didn't really care for any of the other plots. I thought that the Jay and Cole plot was actually somewhat decent because they actually have a goal. They have a goal to, of course, get the citizens out of there and get them back to Ninjago City, which, is kind of easier said than done. But in terms of Lloyd and Zane, I could tell that they really didn't have anything to do in this episode. I mean, Zane, what does he do? He just kind of runs around aimlessly, searching for Borg, who's not even in the swamp. So I could tell that the episode really didn't know what to do with Zane. In terms of Lloyd, all he does is try to rescue Wu, but that really doesn't go well for him. No, I'm not hating on Karloff. I think Karloff is actually a really good character. As I said, big teddy bear. He's kind of like the gentle giant archetype character. I thought he was super cool. But anyway, yeah, Lloyd and Zane have nothing to do. and that's pretty much my only big complaint. It's kind of frustrating seeing them just wander around aimlessly and fail over and over again. But in terms of the Kaya and Nia plot, obviously that one was good. The Jay and Cole plot I thought was absolutely fantastic with them trying to rescue the citizens. We will see that later on. But yeah, in terms of Lloyd and Zane, they didn't really do a whole lot, and that's basically my only big complaint in this episode, is that 2 of the 6 ninja pretty much have nothing to do, and that's pretty much where my review is going to end. In terms of a score, I am going to give this episode, if I can find my score, we're going to give it a 9 out of 10. As you can see with my original review, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. With these Hands of Time reviews, since I've reviewed Hands of Time before, we are comparing scores from 2017 to now. 2017, I gave it an 8.5. Nowadays, I gave it a 9. So you can see how that score kind of evolved. It only evolved by like half a point. But I complained about the same thing back then, that Zane and Lloyd really didn't do much. So lag, I'm not seeing any lag on my end, so it might just be your browser. Might want to refresh there. You guys have already started putting your scores in the chat. Thank you very much. Lots of 10s right off the bat, a couple 9s, a 6.9, not bad. Worst suit this season? Nah, I'd say probably Jay's. I really don't like how his suit kind of looks. And Nia's. I don't really care for Nia's either. Bunch of 10s. This episode's probably one of the best episodes of Hands of Time, I'd say. I didn't give it a 10 just because I had that complaint, but it's still really cool. It's still a really solid episode. And a lot of you guys feel the same way. A lot of really high scores in the chat. How did the time blades suddenly appear? It's just how they were, I guess, thrown through the vortex. They're going to be popping out at random times 40 years later for some reason. Yeah, Cole's dad was in here too. I don't really care for Cole's dad in this episode, but he wasn't in there that much, so I didn't really dock any points for that. So, yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for my review of Pause and Effect. Tomorrow's episode is going to be Out of the Fire and Into the Boiling Sea, which is one of the longest titles for any Ninjago episode ever. It's a very long and tedious title. It's really going to mess up the title for my stream. But hey, that's going to be tomorrow's episode, episode 9 of Hands of Time. Like I said, if everything goes according to plan, we should be able to wrap up Hands of Time by Thursday and talk about the Ninjago movie on Friday. So hopefully everything goes well this week. Hopefully we don't need to take any days off. I've been feeling pretty tired lately in between streams, but it hasn't been enough to make me want to cancel. So that's good. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for my review. Thanks a lot for checking that out. But the stream isn't over just yet. We still have to do some Q's and A's stuff. This is the part of the stream where we just kind of hang out and just chit chat, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. In terms of background images, we're just going to select random seasons. Why don't we start with what should we start with? Since we're talking about the movie, why don't we start with the movie? And then we can switch to other pictures later on. Yeah, Pokemon Week is pretty hype. In case you guys don't know, I'm a huge Pokemon fan as well. Been a Pokemon fan since I was like 6, so this week is Pokemon Week, leading up to this big announcement, supposedly coming this weekend on the 27th. Fingers crossed for Diamond and Pearl remakes. If they're going to announce it, they're going to announce it this weekend. I'm hyped for that. Keep mentioning Season 11 was animated by Wild Brain, animated by DHX. DHX is Wild Brain. It's the exact same company. They just switched their name over. They were originally called DHX Media, but they changed their name to Wild Brain. So, yeah, it's kind of confusing, but yeah, it is the same studio, just renamed for some reason. Not sure why they did that. Came for the ASMR. What if I became like an ASMR channel? I just, rubbed Ninjago figures up against the mic. Would that create for an interesting video? Would that create for interesting content? Um, Yeah, I don't know why Jay jumped immediately to the cargo elevator instead of just, taking the simpler approach. Hey, maybe build a ladder. Maybe that would be a little fun. I forgot to mention as well in that episode, I liked the battle. I liked the very fight at the beginning, at the very end. I thought that was cool. But yeah, in terms of updates, I guess I need to talk about me moving the city gardens. I had to move it off my desk because my cat Waffle was eating some of the pieces on there. So I had to move it off the desk and I had to put it up on my really tall shelf. It's on the tippy top right now. Doesn't really, fit. I had to file down the tower at the very top because it scraped against the ceiling. So it's up on my top shelf next to my Air Jitsu temple, and they actually don't look too bad together. So I kind of made like one big display. Apparently the Diamond and Pearl remakes will be like Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. I hope not. I hope if they do anything from that, I hope they'll just, implement the catching feature. I guess that was like the most fun part about Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee to me. Otherwise, I hope that the Diamond and Pearl remakes don't kind of, take that, I don't want to say babyish approach, but, you know, maybe don't make it like Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is kind of overrated. I used to play it a little bit, but, then Sword and Shield came out and I decided to drop it. Yeah, Pokemon Go is not really super cool. I didn't care for it at the time because, you just had a bunch of YouTubers jumping on the trend that know nothing about Pokemon. Next, 199, thank you very much. What happens if Buff Zane appears in season 14 or 15? I will be overjoyed. We're trying to get LEGO to make that Buff Zane big fig. It needs to happen at some point, and if they can actually make it appear in the show, well, then that'd just be all the more awesome. But yeah, once again, next, thank you for the donation. Here in Spanish class, I took 2 years of Spanish in high school for my freshman and sophomore year. Spanish was kind of like one of my least favorite classes. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new WandaVision episode too. I hope it's better than the past couple of episodes. I know a lot of people really like those episodes, but I kind of don't. Another character that I'm not super fond of in WandaVision is Monica Rambeau. I don't know, she's cool, but I feel like she's just kind of overhyped, you know. What is Buff saying? If you look way down in the description, you can see some Buff Zane t-shirts. It's basically just a running joke on the channel. We have Buff Zane, and we're trying to get LEGO to make a big fig of him. That'd be awesome if they could do that. But yeah, just my thoughts. What's the website that you can buy used LEGO sets? Bricklink.com. It's a really good website, kind of like eBay, but specifically for LEGO. You can order pieces individually, minifigures individually, just depending on what you want. So, would I rather sleep or nap? If I'm gonna sleep, I want to sleep for a while. Like I don't know, naps are okay if I'm like super tired or if I've been working a lot and I just need to rest my eyes for a little bit. Then naps are fine. Otherwise, I kind of want to, you know, I just want to sleep. Is Bricklink reliable? It just kind of depends on the seller. I've had some bad experiences with Bricklink before, but it's not the fault of the website. It's just the fault of the sellers not getting orders right or missing pieces or giving me the wrong pieces. That's been a thing. Otherwise, though, I've ordered a lot from Bricklink, and for the most part, it's been super good. I've pretty much not had a lot of complaints using Bricklink, but I don't know, sometimes you just get a messed up order. If you want a more reliable service, I'd recommend checking out Lego's like official Bricklink style service. It's called, I think, Bricks and Pieces, Bricks and Bits, Bricks and Pieces, I think. One of those is probably a podcast. Um, I think it's Bricks and Pieces. Yeah, if you go on Bricks and Pieces on Lego's official website, I'm just trying to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Bricks and Pieces. Yeah, it's like Lego's official service where you can order parts. The only issue that I have with that is that it takes forever to get to you. With Bricklink, it's a little bit more reliable. Yeah, I made a rant about Bricklink sellers a while ago, not Bricklink itself. I feel like some Bricklink sellers kind of, mess up orders. I've had experiences with that. I've done videos on experiences like that, as mentioned in the chat. But yeah, for the most part, I've had pretty good luck on Bricklink. Just sometimes, people include like the wrong mask for a ninja. Like famously, I tried to order a Day of the Departed J mask, and they ended up giving me a Skybound one. Just stuff like that. But no, I don't hate Bricklink by any means. I use it a lot. Just some of the sellers are kind of, not super great. Favorite Marvel movie from the MCU? I prefer the first Iron Man. I think that's the best one. And Endgame's pretty good too. I think Endgame is a better movie than Infinity War. We can jump to season 8. Some of my season 8 pictures are lumped in with season 9 pictures, so you're going to see a mix of both here. But it's the same stuff. Season 8, season 9. Do I think the island will be great or just all right? I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping for a quality season, pretty much up to the same standards as what season 13 was. So I don't know. I'm hoping for something good. In terms of whether or not it will be good, we just have to wait and see. But I really like the environment. I like the setting. I like the ninja suits. There's a lot of stuff going on in this season that I'm really looking forward to. Why do I hate Kai? I don't hate Kai. Kai's not even my least favorite ninja. No, Logan's a really good movie too. I recently rewatched it, and it's still fantastic. I'm not a super fan of the X-Men movies, but you know, Logan is still a really good film nonetheless. I don't know. I like Endgame more than Infinity War. I thought Infinity War was a very solid part one, but Endgame is just a good ending to the entirety of the MCU. And I had a really good theater experience with Endgame. I saw it 5 times in the theater. Am I friends with AL Bricks Studios? Is it AL Bricks or Al Bricks? I never got that. No, I wouldn't say friends, but he messages me sometimes and I respond to him. I know he has a lot of controversies in the community, and that's pretty much all I'm going to comment on for that. Um, yeah, it's pretty much all I want to say regarding that before we get into like drama-filled discussions. Infinity War was pretty good. Oh yeah, Winter Soldier's fantastic. Uh, yeah, I think Winter Soldier's better than Civil War ever so slightly. I think Civil War, honestly, I could go either way. Like Civil War and Winter Soldier, I could kind of, put either of them. They're kind of on par with me. They're kind of the same level of quality, and that quality is still very fantastic. Yeah, Winter Soldier's great. I spoiled Endgame for myself when I went in there. I don't like or I don't mind spoilers. So I read up on everything that was going to happen in Endgame before I went and saw the movie. We're not doing Get Help. I recently just watched Thor Ragnarok as well. I like the MCU. There's some movies that I don't care for in that universe, but for the most part, I'm actually really like, I'm really impressed with how they were able to make like a lot of movies in that series, and most of them are quality. Some of them are kind of average, and some of them are just downright terrible, but it's still a really solid universe overall. First Avenger over Civil War. That's fair. I like the first Avenger. Captain America 1, yes, of course. Um, wasn't spoiled for me. Yeah, the only thing about Iron Man's demise that wasn't spoiled for me was I didn't know that he was going to say "I am Iron Man" when he snapped, and I thought that was just super cool seeing that in the theater. Um, if Crux and Necronix ever made an elemental dragon in the past, would it be a one-headed or two-headed dragon? I think it would be a two-headed dragon. I feel like they would share one dragon because they share the elemental power of time. I think it would be just one dragon, basically made up of all of the elements or all the colors of time. So, red, yellow, blue, and green. Maybe have like each corner of the dragon have a different color. Yeah, I think Iron Man 3 is underrated. I honestly don't think Iron Man 3 is that bad. I feel like the only reason why people like diss Iron Man 3 is because of the Mandarin plot twist, because it's not accurate to the comics. But then those same people love Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's like the farthest thing from the comics. Yeah, Captain Marvel wasn't very good. Captain Marvel I saw once in the theater, and I've never watched it again. Why does Brie Larson hate smiling? I think that's a really awkward criticism to give her because I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like criticism going towards Brie Larson that's like valid, but that one I don't think is valid at all because no one in the MCU really smiles. I think that criticism is like really awkward and unwarranted. But there's a lot of other stuff that's thrown at Brie Larson that I do agree with. So I didn't really care for Captain Marvel all that much. Season 11 slides, sure. Mainly just fire chapter stuff. I ended up finding all my ice chapter pictures though, so I got to remember to include them on here too, so we can actually get some ice chapter images. There are a couple ice chapter pictures in this, but it's mainly just fire chapter stuff. Favorite Pokemon besides Sylveon? Probably Torterra. Turtwig was my starter when I played through Diamond for the first time when I was younger, and Torterra is a beast. Love Torterra. Very allergic to ice though. Shoot him with an ice beam, he's dead, which is unfortunate. Summer or winter? I'd have to say maybe winter. I feel like when both of the seasons start, it's like nice and refreshing. When it starts snowing, it's like, oh, it's snowing, that's cute. When it starts being a little warmer outside for summer, it's like, oh, It's perfect. But then eventually you kind of get sick of it. Eventually it becomes too hot, and eventually it becomes too snowy, and it just creates a big mess. So I'd say they're both good right at the start. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably say winter, just because it's kind of easier to, warm myself up than cool myself off, I will say. It's easier to throw on a bunch of blankets as opposed to, try to, constantly get cool in the summer when it's crazy hot. Favorite season 15 set. From what we'd seen so far, I really like the look of the Hydro Bounty. I think that looks super cool. Otherwise, the Hydro Mech is good too. I like Lloyd's Hydro Mech. Reminds me very much of the Bionicle Toamari line. It looks like something that would come specifically from that line. Like it just jumped from 2007 to the modern day. Jigglypuff or Pichu? I'd probably have to go with Pichu. They have a Lego theme that I like besides Ninjago. I recently did a video talking about like some of my childhood Lego themes that I was into aside from Ninjago. Nowadays, there's not a whole lot of stuff that I enjoy aside from Ninjago, but I will say Monkey Kid is pretty cool right now. Not in terms of the sets, but specifically the show. I like the show for Monkey Kid. Next up with another 199 donation. Thank you very much. Rocky Danger Buff, Cold 2018. Yes, indeed. What a legend he is. Oh, thank you once again, Nexo. I'm still not seeing any lag on my end, so if you guys are experiencing lag, it might just be your connection. I'd recommend either restarting your device, refreshing the page, whatever works, but I am not seeing any lag on my end. I do have a report that comes up whenever the stream does lag, so yeah, I basically see it here first, and I'm not seeing anything. We have 0 dropped frames so far this entire stream. Did I watch Bionicle? Bionicle never really had a show back in the day. It had like various commercials, which were still super cool, but I was never really big into Bionicle when it was coming out. I kind of got into Lego big time around the time that Bionicle was just kind of wrapping up. So Hero Factory was a big introduction to Lego for me. Power Miners, Space Police, Lego City. That's all pretty much been my thing for a while, or since Ninjago, or before Ninjago started. But no, the show of Bionicle on Netflix, I watched, didn't really like the Journey to One. I watched it when it came out and never really cared for it. So killed Sparky. Yeah, poor doggo. Favorite early 2000s show. Um, in terms of early 2000s, like specifically animation, from what I watched as a kid, there wasn't a whole lot that I was able to watch until like 2007, 2008. My parents were unfortunately kind of strict with what I watched. Nowadays, it's obvious they can't really control what I watch. I'm 21, moved out of their house. They can't control me. Um, but no, back in the day, they were really strict over what I watched and what I couldn't watch. I have to say maybe SpongeBob, because that was like my big like older kids cartoon, as my parents called it, and I watched that for the first time when I was like 7 because they would never let me watch it beforehand. So, and that came out in like 99, I think, SpongeBob. So it doesn't really count as like an early 2000s show, but that's like the first show that I was able to watch that wasn't like something stupid, like some PBS Kids type stuff. But yeah, it's just a little bit of insight as to how I grew up. Unfortunately, strict parents. Yeah, now I can just watch whatever. I don't really care. Do I ship Cole and Nia? Not really. I ship Cole with other people more. I ship Nia with other people more. I ship Cole and Jay. I guess that's that. Cole and Nia, no, not a big fan of that one. I think Nia and Jay are obviously a better match. Out of that love triangle, I think Nia and Jay are the better match. um, Wonder Woman 84 was stretched out. I still haven't seen it. I'm probably not going to watch it for a minute. I don't really care a whole lot about the Wonder Woman movies, so probably not going to check that one out, but I've heard some very negative things about it. I heard really good things when it first came out, and then as time went on, more and more people started, dissing on it, and eventually it just became a bad movie in the eyes of the public. When are they releasing them legacy shorts? I have no idea. Sometime this year. That's pretty much all I know. I know as much as you guys do. And I'm not sure what they're doing with those. Better late than never. Yeah, of course. Again, if you guys are ever like late or whatever, it's no big deal. If you guys wanted to check out what the stream was like beforehand, the streams will always be uploaded as videos after they get done, airing. So feel free to go ahead and check them out if you ever want to rewatch a stream or if you missed one and want to check up on it. Feel free to do just that. Otherwise, it's not that big a deal. Which movie? Which one we were just talking about? Wonder Woman 84. Still haven't seen it. Legacy Legacy Jungle Raider or Legacy X1 Ninja Charger. I kind of prefer the Jungle Raider, I think, out of those. I recently modded the X1 as well. I'm probably going to do video on that sometime next week, but I recently updated the X1, kind of made it a little more me. I didn't make all the modifications that I wanted to, but I fixed my major problems with it. So. Favorite My Hero ship. I either like Deku and Ochako or Bakugo and Kirishima. I think those are my two favorite ships from My Hero. Some of you guys might disagree. Favorite Spider-Man movie? I think Spider-Verse is still like the best one out of all of them, but in terms of live-action Spider-Man movies, I'd either have to say Homecoming or the original Spider-Man 2, I guess, if I had to pick one. I don't know. To me, there's never been like a perfect Spider-Man movie. I have issues with all of the live-action Spider-Man films. I think Spider-Verse is a pretty solid movie, but it's just unfortunate that it's not live action. I still think Spider-Verse is like the best Spider-Man movie, all in all. But in terms of live-action Spider-Man movies, yeah, I don't think there's a perfect one. I have issues with all of them. Did I see the recap trailer for Ninjago Season 2? Yeah, I did. I watched it this morning because I saw it in my sub feed when I got up. So I watched it pretty much what I was expecting, just a recap of Prime Empire and Master of the Mountain. Nothing too major. Speaking of which, why don't we change over images? We can switch over to Prime Empire. Ninjago, here we go. What do I think will happen at the end of season 15? I think there's going to be something emotional going on towards the end. I think it's either going to be a wedding for Jay and Nia or something else. I think it'd be cool if it is a wedding. I think that would be super fun. I'm excited for the Spider-Man multiverse. I'm looking forward to it. I think the live-action Spider-Man 3 for the MCU, I think that's going to be a major movie, regardless of if it has the other two Spider-Man in it or not. I think it will. I think it's going to end up being a Spider-Verse movie, but we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, the animation is just fantastic for Into the Spider-Verse, I will agree. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just kind of dismiss it though because, it's animation. People don't consider it to be a real Spider-Man movie. I think out of all the Spider-Man films, that one's easily the best, like I said. But in terms of live action ones, there's not like a perfect Spider-Man movie. If Spider-Verse was live action, then yeah, it would be the perfect Spider-Man movie, and that would be my favorite hands down. Um, you know, but you know, it is what it is. I still think it's good though. Um, Please tell me why we need an evil Kai. I think it'd be good for his character. I think it would show some development. Donuts or donuts. Spelt the first way, not the second way. Didn't Tom Holland say that Toby and Andrew aren't in the third one? Yeah, but Tom Holland also says a lot of stuff because Tom Holland is kind of infamous for spoiling a lot from other movies. So it would make sense that for this one, especially if they're going to be having the other two Spider-Man in there, yeah, it's definitely going to be definitely going to be hard for him to keep spoilers on the down low. So I feel like they either told him something that was just a blatant lie, or he's just lying, which very well could be a thing. And that's just what actors need to do to keep things hidden and keep things a secret. I wouldn't believe anything that he says. When I finish the episode reviews, I could live stream MCU movie reviews. I've recently, or not recently, but I did reviews on all of the MCU movies at some point on the channel. You could probably find them pretty easily. But that is a good idea. I'm just not sure how well that would play out on this channel. Why would Kai, or what would turn Kai evil? Um, Maybe just I don't know. I think if the ninja team made like a decision, for example, it could easily turn into like civil war, where some people don't like that idea, some people do. I'm not sure what that idea would be, but Kai is a very emotionally, I guess, vulnerable person. He's very much swayed towards emotions, like we saw in this episode with Ray. He just kind of went in there guns ho without, analyzing the situation. He was just driven purely by emotion. So I feel like if he was, I guess introduced to a situation and all he had was his emotions, I feel like that could very well turn him against the ninja. I feel like he's the most likely ninja to just turn evil naturally, besides just or aside from like corruption or whatever. I want Kai to turn evil just specifically on his own merit, or not even very much evil. I'd say if he just wanted to be like an antagonist to the ninja team, like if he wanted to be like a rogue ninja, I think that would be cool. I don't think he needs to be explicitly evil, but I feel like he would be the quickest one to leave the team. Just because, again, his history with being overwhelmed by emotions and take away his powers again. He seems to hate that. Did I watch the Lego movie? Yeah, I've seen all the Lego movies. Should make a second channel where I talk about stuff other than Ninjago, such as anime, Transformers, MCU, etc. I have a second channel. I haven't really posted on it for a minute. I post on it pretty much like once every 3 years. But yeah, I do have it. At one point, I did have an anime channel, and at one point, I did have a Pokemon channel. The Pokemon channel got taken down just because I didn't really like doing it anymore. I did a couple of videos on it, but really didn't care for it. And the anime channel got taken down due to copyright reasons, which is obvious, but I did have them at some point. Otherwise, if you guys wanted to check out my Twitter and Instagram, links in the description. I do talk about other stuff on there besides Ninjago, so I guess that's the closest thing that we're going to be getting to that. Otherwise, no, this channel I try to keep mainly Ninjago focused. I like talking about Ninjago. It's one of my favorite things ever, so it's fun to have a channel. Yeah, just take away Kai's powers. I don't think having Kai being evil or being a rogue ninja, I don't think that would ruin the series at all. I think it would be very fresh for the series because they're just being super repetitive. But at least season 14 appears to be a little different, and season 15 is very different. So, have you ever heard or watched the season 7 shorts called Operation Heavy Metal? I don't think so. I recently found out that the Samurai X Rising or whatever it's called, I recently found out that that was a thing. It's like a short tied into season 7. Had no idea it existed until last night. And I was like, wow, how about that? Ever think of changing my profile picture to something else? Yeah, I've thought about it. I recently just updated it and changed it to fit more with like the underwater theme of season 15. But no, with my profile picture, I feel like if I changed it to anything else, it would just be weird. Red fire or blue fire? I think blue fire is cooler. That's why Dobby is one of my favorite characters from My Hero. I love the blue fire. Do I want a live action Ninjago movie? I think it'd be cool, but I don't think it'll happen. Do I want one though? Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see a live action Ninjago. It'd be cool to see what they do with it. In terms of who they get to play the ninja or what would be going on with that, I've done a couple of videos um, on that. A couple of my dream fan casts for that movie that's never going to exist. But no, I don't think they'll make that movie. It was kind of a gamble making a Ninjago movie in the first place. Season 5? Sure. See if I can find my possession images. There we go. We need the T-Shop suits as figures, I will say. Some guy uploaded the whole season 4 on YouTube. Oh yeah, totally. No, yeah, people upload that, but yet I get in trouble for trying to watch the pilots on stream. But no, it's totally fine that people upload the entire season. Lego does nothing, obviously. Movie saved Ninjago. I think it made Ninjago a little more interesting, a little bit more unique. I don't think it saved Ninjago. I think Ninjago is doing just fine without the movie. I will say it was a pretty big thing for the series, though. I would argue that if the movie was never a thing, Ninjago would be fine. But I think the movie only did good for the series. I don't think it was even that bad. I know people's opinions on the movie is very mixed. But yeah, I don't. I would say that the movie is an interesting addition. It's a good addition, but I don't think it was necessary. So, purple ghosts or green ghosts? I think green ghosts are cooler. favorite Ninjago music with the exception of the intros. So favorite Ninjago song that hasn't been part of an intro. Probably Spinning Out in Color or Fully Digital, or no, After the Blackout. But I think that one was I think that one was in an intro, unless I'm mistaken. Otherwise, After the Blackout's pretty cool. Don't put footage without the audio in your videos, but people can upload entire seasons. Exactly. That seems fair. That's what I'm talking about with Lego's copyright system. It's very much it's very much an awful thing. Do I own a PS5? I do not. PS5 is not on my priority list. I'll get one eventually, but I'm not gonna like rush out there and try to beat the mob to get one or whatever. I'm not that big of a gamer, but I will get one eventually. Probably a couple years down the line. I don't really need it right now. In terms of games and whatnot, you guys know I don't really play a whole lot of games. I do play on Switch though, sometimes. So I guess that's just that. Crux or Chronix? Chronix is cooler. Gravel or sand? I like sand. I think it feels better on my toes than gravel. Oh yeah, I think Ninjago would be very different if the movie didn't exist for sure. The ninja would probably still retain their original designs in modern day seasons. So I'm sure that would be good for some people. Aside from the ending of season 6, what else did I not like about Skybound? I don't think the ending's all that bad. I think the ending is like the most expected ending. Like, what else are they going to do with that? I understand a lot of the criticisms towards season 6's ending, but to me it was kind of expected. But in terms of other stuff that I didn't really care for about season 6, I don't know. I don't know. Some of the pirates are kind of awkward. Um, some of the other things going on in the season are kind of annoying. Nia's character is not all that great. You know, just my own opinion. But overall, though, like season 6 is very good. Lego's been uploading Ninjago episodes daily. They're uploading season 8 now. I can't see that. Is it like the Lego channel as it is? Otherwise, I can't really. I don't really see those episodes in my feed. It might just be a case of not being available in my country. Um, but no, I can't really. I don't really see those. I'm subscribed to Lego's channel, so it's kind of weird. Unless I'm missing something major. No, I'm subscribed to his. I'm subscribed to the channel, so I don't know what that's about. Did it make my day when the Fold commented on one of my videos? Yeah, the people from the Fold, especially Dan, they're super cool, very genuine people. Big shout out to them. But yeah, they comment on my stuff sometimes, and it's always fun to see them interact with my stuff. We've done a couple of videos together, interacted a couple of other times. But no, I really do enjoy the Fold. They're very awesome people, especially Dan. He's cool. They don't come in the sub boxes for some reason, but you can search for the playlist. I'll have to check that out. Are they in English? Because if they are, then that's fantastic. I just need to look. Lego's got a lot of playlists on their channel. I also have all of Monkey Kid. It's probably not in English though, eh? Oh, it's not even available in my country. All right, cool. Thanks, Lego. What do I think of the 2021 Summer Legacy sets? Kind of a smaller Legacy wave than what I was expecting. I think we're only getting a couple of sets for the summer. I was expecting more Season 5 stuff, but I guess we'll just have to wait until 2022 for more Season 5 suits. Otherwise, though, with the Legacy sets that we have for the summer, what do we got? The Fire Dragon, the Ultrasonic Raider. I think those two are very good. I like the Fire Dragon. That thing looks beastly. I want to see other dragons get made for Ninjago Legacy. But yeah, the ultrasonic radar I also think is cool. Is okay. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna get it when it comes out. Playlist is called Ninjago MEA. I'll have to check that out. I will write that down. I'll search for it after the stream wraps up if I can find my marker. I almost need new Sharpies already. How much money do I think I've spent on Lego? I think I've done a video on that, just basing my spendings on Ninjago stuff. I went through every single Ninjago set that I've ever owned in my lifetime, kind of tallied that up. I can't remember what that number is, but I know I've done a video on that. In terms of Lego in general, I don't know. because I've bought a lot of stuff from a lot of different themes over the years. Like specifically Ninjago, Hero Factory, Bionicle, City, Space Police, Power Miners. You know, probably going to spend a little bit of money on Monkey Kid stuff coming up. Who knows? Monkey Kid's got some really good sets coming out, but they're just super expensive. It's hard for me to get into to the Monkey Kid sets. Evan Peters or Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver. I don't know. They're both good in my opinion. I don't know. They're both good. I can't really pick one. They're both good. What happened to Kai's parents after season 7? Not sure. I think we will see them back in season 15 though. I guarantee you that we'll at least see Maya. If Ray will come back, that'll be cool. Otherwise, I think they're just kind of exploring Ninjago or doing whatever, kind of catching up with what they've missed, perhaps. Who knows? Maro's theme or Zane's death theme? I think Zane's death theme is a little bit more iconic. I'd say that one. Garmadon versus Nanakon. I think they'd be pretty evenly matched. Though I think Garmadon would pull ahead just a little bit. Do I like mini dolls? That's an interesting question. The mini dolls, as in stuff that we find in themes like Lego Friends and whatnot, they're okay. I think they're interesting for those themes. I think they like fit in with those themes, but I really don't think they fit in with anything else. But I think they're okay, I suppose. I own a couple of them, and they're all right. Not my favorite thing ever. Not my least favorite thing. Kind of mixed on them. I like how some of the hair pieces are compatible with minifigures, though. I think that's a good idea. That's pretty much the only thing that's compatible. What's the greatest movie of all time? Tremors from 1990. And they have more money waiting for me in PayPal. I recently got paid yesterday from Lego, so that's nice. My bank account can breathe a little bit. Or not from Lego, from YouTube. From YouTube. Lego doesn't pay me anything. YouTube does, though. And yesterday was payday. So finally, my bank account can recover after the Ninjago City Gardens. Why didn't Ray and Maya age between the flashbacks in season 7? I have a feeling that was just kind of an animation error. I don't think that was intentional. I think they are a lot older than what they appeared to be in the flashbacks, or, you know, maybe they're a lot younger than what they appeared to be in the flashbacks. Otherwise, I feel like they definitely did age. I just think it was kind of like a mishap with animation. Just kind of a timeline error, I suppose. Worst Ninjago dragon? Um, I don't know, in terms of like a worst dragon, in terms of the sets, I don't really care for things like Jay's Cyber Dragon. I think I will say Jay has like a fair amount of dragons that aren't all that great. I think that the worst dragon though is probably maybe Cole's dragon from season 6, the very small little skybound Earth dragon. That one's not super good. Sorry to ruin the 69 likes. Oh no. Can I do an apartment tour? Really want to see all your sets. In terms of like Lego sets, what you saw in my room tour is pretty much all I have on display right now. I've done a couple of updates since then. You can check out my Instagram for more updates on that. But otherwise, the rest of the apartment really doesn't have all that much Lego in it. It's just kind of other stuff that my roommate and I are kind of into, such as a bunch of manga, a bunch of anime stuff, a couple of Marvel posters. Otherwise, all of the sets that I have on display, I showcased in that room tour. Favorite X-Men movie? Um, I don't know. Like with a lot of the X-Men movies, I haven't really either seen a lot of them or it's kind of a mixed bag. I will say that the first X-Men's pretty good. I like that one, like the original. Otherwise, I really like Logan, if you can even count that as an X-Men movie. I think that's the best movie in that universe. Otherwise, the X-Men movies, from what I've seen, are pretty hit or miss. It's been a minute since I've watched a lot of them all the way through, though. And I haven't seen ones like X-Men Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix or whatever. Haven't seen New Mutants. Don't really plan on seeing New Mutants. And with that being said, we actually are almost done with the stream. Why don't we switch over to rapid fire questions, and I will let season 14 images run in the background as we do just that. So what do you guys got for me? Anything regarding quick questions, anything that I can answer in just a quick sentence or two? If Ninjago is an anime, would I want there to be blood? I think if Ninjago was an anime, then yeah, they should totally bump up the violence, if you will. Yeah, so if Logan's an X-Men movie, if you can class that as like an X-Men film and not just like a standalone Wolverine movie, then yeah, Logan's the best. Days of Future Past is okay. Am I disappointed that season 14 may only be 4 episodes? Not disappointed. I guess I'm just not really surprised. If it's only 4 episodes, then I don't think that's all that bad. But it'll definitely be very short season. Buff Zane or Dareth, who would win? Got to go with Buff Zane. He would easily crush Dareth. Favorite Ninjago Junior set? Probably Cole's speeder car from Prime Empire. Very solid vehicle. Favorite Quicksilver moment? I've seen the bit from Apocalypse. I think it's from Apocalypse where he saves everybody in the mansion. I like that scene. I like the music. I like the actual scene itself. Otherwise, in terms of MCU Quicksilver, probably when he dies. I don't know. MCU Quicksilver really didn't do all that much. Favorite Zane minifigure? Probably Titanium Zane from Tournament. Thoughts on Pixel's mom and dad? Pixel only has one parent, and it's Dr. Borg. So, um, favorite Ninjago shorts. In terms of a short, I will say Prime Empire pretty much had a lot of really good shorts. Um, but in terms of like Ninjago shorts altogether, I'd have to say probably Green and Gold, one of the original Legacy shorts. Yeah, I think Cole Speeder Car looks good too. Yeah, it's a junior set, but it doesn't really feel like one. So, have people stolen my videos before? Oh yeah, there's like this really cool feature that I can use on YouTube that will actually show me videos that are either 100% matches or 50% matches. If people use footage from my videos, then it shows up there. Otherwise, some people just straight steal my videos. Did I hear about M&R being kicked from the Lego Ambassador Network? I did not. Is that a recent thing? That's unfortunate. Is that because of the Star Wars leak controversy thing? Favorite season 15 set? Probably the Hydro Bounty or the Hydro Mech. Those are both pretty good. 2016 Winter Ninjago best set. Winter of 2016. That was what, Skybound? So, in terms of Skybound sets, the Misfortune's Keep was kind of cool. Never ended up getting it. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm not really sure which would be my favorite. Maybe Raid Zeppelin, Sky Shark, maybe. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, we still got time for a couple more questions. Hidden Side, Hidden Side. I'm not really too keen on. I never really got into Hidden Side. Have I watched one of the Batman movies? I've seen a lot of the live-action Batman movies. Is Waffle growling? I think my mic made a weird noise. But now, in terms of Batman movies, I really like the Dark Knight trilogy, obviously. Gonna miss this once I'm done live streaming. Hey, you can always come back tomorrow. We're gonna be streaming tomorrow at the same time. Do I like Black Panther? The character himself, like in the MCU, I think is really cool. I like him in Civil War a lot more than I like him in pretty much any other movie. But in terms of like his actual movie, not my favorite. I think the movie is actually kind of overhyped. I think he's a lot cooler in Civil War than he is in his own movie. Just my opinion. Let's answer one more question before we wrap up the stream. Just one more. I'm gonna take a sip for a minute. As we get the questions filled out, we're gonna let one more question be answered. So yeah. um Okay, that's actually a pretty solid question. Favorite figure from the Temple or the Tournament of Elements set, and also thanks for responding to my comments. Writing Ninjago fanfiction. What's your thoughts? Yeah. So in terms of my favorite minifigure from the Tournament of Elements set, there's a lot of really good ones in there. Specifically, the 3 Elemental Masters that we had not received before. I think Gravis is probably the best one though. Out of all of those, if I had to pick from Gravis, Blobo, or Jacob, I think Gravis is the best. Otherwise, yeah, Ninjago fanfiction. I totally am okay with that. Just make sure to make it your own thing. Obviously, try not to rip off anyone else or anything in Ninjago specifically. I'm currently writing Ninjago fan fiction as well, so I think that's a really good idea. But yeah, guys, that'll pretty much round it out for the stream today. Let's go over the schedule one more time as we do the end of the stream tradition where everybody spams the word hug in the chat. I will do it 6 times, one for each ninja. But yeah, this is our schedule. We stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A, updating day by day. This is every day where I can't stream. I'll let you guys know via my community tab, and that'll pretty much wrap it up for the stream today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Went by pretty quick. But hey, it's always fun. It's always fun to come in here and, hang out and just talk about Ninjago or whatever else comes to mind. We're going to be back tomorrow with episode 73's review, Out of the Fire and Into the Boiling Sea. That'll be tomorrow's review. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for tuning into this one. I got a couple more videos coming up on the channel today in case you guys want to stick around for those. Otherwise, I hope you guys will tune in for tomorrow's live stream. Same time, same place. Feel free to check on in. So, yeah, that'll pretty much round it out. Thanks a lot for being a good audience. Thanks a lot for being cool. Thanks for you guys that asked questions. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the donations. And I'll catch you guys in the next stream. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day.